Now I'm hearing myself. So we're into the second match of the night. Cool and Smooth T20 tournament playing here in Antigua, Barbuda. It's the Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles coming up against the Piggotts Crushers in the nightcap. In the first encounter, All Saints Pythons, they defeated the men from Rising Sun by about 9 runs in that encounter. It was a close encounter, keenly contested encounter. Cottrell, left arm over the wicket, comes in and he's bowling a wayward delivery, one that bounces wide down the leg side, signal wide belatedly by umpire Bernard Joseph, and so it's going to be a free hit to the Piggotts Crushers team. Bethesda, they won the toss and they decided to bat in this encounter. So Bethesda bowling. Bethesda won the toss and inserted the opposition. Correction. So Piggotts Crushers batting. This is the free hit. A wide delivery again down the leg side. The batsman watches it as it goes through. Signal wide once more by the umpire. So it's still going to be a free hit situation. Cottrell having some trouble in this over. This delivery is a good delivery outside the line of the off stump to the left-handed batsman in Adrian Barron. He waved at it, allowed it, and ball beating the bat and going through to the wicket keeper behind the stumps, and there is no run. So the Piggotts Crushers 5 without loss. We're in the first over, being bowled by Sheldon Cottrell, the West Indies fast left-arm fast bowler, playing in the Cool and Smooth T20. Jumping inside is Barron to a delivery again, pitched on the line of the leg stump and just working it into the onside and gets just a run. So one more to him, he's off the mark, and the total on to 6 without loss in over number 1. The 5th delivery to come in this over, being bowled by Sheldon Cottrell from the northern end, or the Sir Curtly Ambrose end here at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Grounds. It's the Cool and Smooth T20 tournament for 2018, and you're listening to the live stream. Here is Cottrell in, and this delivery outside the line of the off stump once more runs down to the third man region, and the batsmen are able to come through for a run. 7 without loss at the end of the first over. Matter of fact, one delivery left. Cottrell with this delivery, the batsman jumping inside and playing it down into the offside. So finally the over comes to an end. What was an extended over from Sheldon Cottrell. 7 runs coming from it, just 2 runs coming from the bat though, so over littered with extras. Some 5 extras in that over. 7 without loss at the end of over number 1. Piggotts Crushers, they would want to set a reasonable target for the men from Bethesda to chase. Bethesda last time out made a big score, 187 against the Althains Pythons, but lost that match. The Pythons getting home in 18.5 overs, getting to 188 for 2. So the Bethesda team not so sure about their bowling, so they probably feel that if they're able to chase, they stand a better chance, because the last time when they really set what should have been an imposing target, it was really destroyed by the Althains Pythons. This is the start of the second over. Gavin Tongue, his first delivery, just shapes away from the right-handed batsman in Tyrone Theophile, and he allows it to go into the gloves of wicketkeeper, who looks to be Benta this evening for the Bethesda Golden Eagles. So Benta it is, with the number 7 on his back. Here is this delivery. Outside the line of the off stump, looking to cut it away, was Theophile, beaten outside the line of the off stump. The other one had a little bit more pace on it from Gavin Tongue, giving it a little extra there, just trying to push it through. Ball 7 without loss. We're with over number 2. Tongue it is. Another good delivery. That one shaped away from the right-handed batsman. Played genuinely at it. Beaten outside the line of the half stump and into the gloves of Benta. Oohs and ahs go up from the Bethesda team. That was a good delivery. Bowled there by Gavin Tongue. Outside the line of the off stump once again. This time the batsman can't score. So far so good from Gavin Tongue. He's had 4 dot deliveries in this over, keeping Theophile in check. Piggotts squashers unable to really get away. The batsman really yet to get into any flow. See a decent gathering in this evening in terms of spectators. Another good delivery from Tongue. He's really bowling well in this over, having the batsman playing and missing on a number of occasions again. This time Theophile just pulls the bat inside the line of that one and allowed it to go into the gloves of wicketkeeper Benta. So he remains on 1 and the total is on 7 without loss. We're in over number 2. Driving at this delivery just for a single out to the long off region. So 1 more to the total. It has gone on now by 1 to 8. 8 without loss at the end of over number 2. So Archibald is going to be the new bowler. So just 1 over for Cottrell. Archibald starts his spell, first delivery. They pick up a single. That's the Piggotts squashers team. The batsman and Theophile just dropping it on the offside immediately. They ran through for a single. So just 1 more to the total. A quiet start for the Piggotts squashers. We're in over number 3. And they've taken their score on to 9. 9 without loss. Early days yet in this match, just at the start of the 3rd over. Archibald. Barron is forcing this one down to 3rd man. He's going to just pick up another single. So the runs for Piggotts squashers are coming in just singles. The batsman just nudging it around here, there, and everywhere, picking up singles as we go along. Not seeing any boundaries yet struck in this innings. Just a quiet word between Theophile and Baron. Edging and caught behind. Theophile got a good delivery from Archibald. He sent immediately by the umpire. He stood his ground, but that one was a thick outside edge, a meaty edge through. Good catch taken by wicketkeeper Benter. Took it above his waist height, but a good catch taken by Benter. And that's the end of Theophile. Caught Benter off Archibald for 3, and Piggotts squashers losing their first wicket. They're 10 for 1, and Benter taking a smart catch. It was a thick outside edge, really genuine edge, one of those thick edges, and it went through to wicketkeeper to his right. He took a smart catch, and that's the end of Theophile. And Piggotts squashers would feel that they would have lost a key component of their batting, because a lot of their batting depends on the form of Tyrone Theophile, and he would have failed again this evening. So he's caught Benter off Archibald for 3, 10 for 1, and we're in over number 3. Cool and smooth T20 continues. It's continuing. Earlier we had the All Saints Pythons coming up against the Rising Sun Spartans. These teams have some fantastic names. Spartans and Pythons and Blackhawks and Golden Eagles and Crushers and the like. We understand that their new Winchups are Lions. We'll have to find a name for the Bowlands team. We'll work on it. But it's brought out a new man to the crease for the Piggotts squashers team. Archibald is the bowler. Wide down the leg side, wide called. So Marilyn is the new batsman. Marilyn, a police officer by trade, and was pretty decent when he was a youngster, but he had gained a couple of pounds and probably fallen off his game somewhat. But he's coming in at 3 for Piggotts squashers, so they have a lot of confidence in him. He's getting a short delivery, one that was rising. He was in trouble there, and it was rocking back and just trying to get out of the way of that one, and the ball going somewhere in the helmet region, and in the end no damage done. So Maryland survives. The score remains on 11 for 1 in over number 3. Archibald is in and Maryland is backing away, looking to force one through the offside. So he's unsettled. The delivery before had him in some trouble, and now this one was much not as short as the one before, and he was backing away, looking to force it through the offside, almost as if he was backing out of the wicket. Archibald again, wide down the leg side. Archibald is all over the place. He's good delivery, then bad delivery, good then bad. He's been around for quite a while for the Bethesda team. Well over 20 years of playing cricket with that establishment. Kevin Archibald will be getting up in age now. Not as brisk as he was before. Used to bowl really sharp in his early days, with just a little skip in his run. He's in, and this time Maryland gets off the mark, works it down to a short fine leg position. So just a run for the Crushers, 13 for 1 at the end of over number 3. So we're starting over number 4. It's going to be tongue to continue. Delivery bordering on being a wide. It was outside the line of the off stump. The batsman was looking to force it away into the offside, and in the end didn't make contact. So score remains on 11 for 1. Again, Merlin gets a good delivery outside the line of the off stump. He's not looking very confident, Derek Merlin. He's coming at number 3 for the Piggotts Crushers team to join Adrian Barron. And Barron is on 2. And Merlin yet to score. So 13 for 1. This is Tongue in a short delivery. Called wide by the umpire. Umpire looks to be umpire Goodwin, is it? Just make sure. Looks like him. Yes, it's umpire Javid Goodwin in the distance. And of course, Bernard Joseph at square leg. Maryland takes off, wants the quick single, gets it in the end. The fielder coming in from that short point moved off a little slowly. Is that I Roots Martin? Had a throw at the stumps, but the batsman was scampering home. So he get the single in the end. 15 for 1 in over number 4. So Merlin is off the mark. 6 deliveries he's taken for his 1. Barron is on 2. Barron, when he plays cricket, he's expected to be that he's played as a pinch hitter. Loves to go over the top, especially if the ball is in his half. Here he's swinging at 1, gets it through the field and runs into the mid-off boundary for 4. I was just saying that is what he likes. When the ball is in his arc, he follows through the shot. It was a cross bat at the stroke, but he paced the field and the ball sped over the outfield and into the boundary for 4. 19 for 1 in over number 4. What will Tongue do again? This delivery has the batsman backing away. They go for a quick single. If he hits, he's in trouble, but he misses. Merlin was struggling to make his ground. He was running down the track. Didn't get anywhere close to it. The ball didn't hit the stumps though from the throw from the fielder coming in from that short point position, and the batsman were able to scamper through for the 20th run. 20 for 1. Approaching the end of over number 4. Remember, Bethesda, they won the toss and inserted Piggotts Crushers. He's pulling this one mightily over the backward square leg region for 6 runs. It was what we call a crazy hook. It was a short delivery. Didn't keep his eye on it, just swung the bat at it, made good contact, and that one flew over the top of backward square, and he would have gotten 6 runs. 6 runs to the Piggotts Crushers team at the end of over number 4. 26 for 1. Barron and Merlin both on 7. So we're starting over number 5. Mix up again almost, and again the throw at the non-striker's head misses the stumps, so the batsmen are able to get in. So just 1 more to the total. It goes up to 27. 27 for 1 in over number 5. As we look on to the match, Kevin Archibald is in action. He's the bowler. He's in his 2nd over. His first over went for 4 runs. Again, trying to test the batsman on that occasion. Merlin is wanting to play that pull shot, that pull stroke, but not making contact. He made contact with the last one of Gavin Tongue, but not making contact on this occasion. You see backing away and forcing the ball out into the offside field is Maryland. Can't score, can't beat that fielder. Devon Thomas standing at that short extra cover position. Is that Thomas? We'll tell you who it is. We're just trying to identify the player. You watch as Maryland again backs away first and then gets back onto the ball and forces it into the offside field, and there is no run. He's hitting this one hard, Maryland, but again straight to the fielder. He's at that mid-on position, so can't score. You would want to try and pace the field. There's a strong breeze blowing today in the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, especially if you look at the flags to the western side of the ground. They're really fluttering in that breeze. And sitting there during the first match, it was a very strong breeze that was blowing across this stadium. Here is this delivery right through the batsman, cut him in half through to wicketkeeper Went, and there is no run to end over number 5 at the end of the 5th over. 27 for 1, Barron on 8, Maryland on 7. Start of a new over. First over of spin, the first delivery whipped away into the mid-wicket region. Just a single though. The man was well placed on that mid-wicket boundary, the ball going straight to him. Anthony Martin, I would call him here in Antigua and Barbuda. He's in action. He's a real fiery former national player. Plays his cricket very hard. Just wants to make sure that all his fielders are expertly positioned. He's calling up the man from mid-wicket up into the circle. He's tempting Maryland to play that big shot, probably over the top. Maryland almost gets himself in trouble there, just coming down hard on that delivery. That was right up to him from Anthony Martin. Just tried to stop it from crashing into his stumps. Maryland, he's backing away and forcing into the offside field. Wanted a single, but again the fielder standing at that point position was quickly across. So Martin again, this time he's getting it down to a short fine leg, squeezing it past the wicket keeper. Cottrell, most of his injured, just ambles across, picks the ball up, has a left-handed throwback. So 29 for 1, just 2 deliveries left in the power play overs, the first 6. This time the left-handed batsman in Barron just plays defensively to another good delivery from Martin. Martin gets through his overs very quickly. He's already in his 6th delivery, and here is again Barron coming down hard but can't beat the fielder at that short backward point position. And it is now the end of the over. The end of over number 6 has come up 29 for 1. Barron is on 9, Moreland is on 8. Start of a new over. First delivery is played away into the inside, so they're just getting the runs in singles. The Piggotts Squashers team, CUB Bethesda, is trying to keep the runs down, trying to keep the runs under control for the Piggotts Squashers team. Piggotts Squashers would have to try and get a move on pretty soon if they're going to pose a big total. Barron gets one that has him on the back foot, and again there's a throw at the stumps. Merlin was again struggling to get into his crease. He's not moving very quickly, ambling down almost, and on that occasion the fielder trying to throw the stumps down. As Archibald is in his 3rd over, just 7 runs coming from it, and he got the 1 wicket to fall so far. Here is he in again. This time the batsman just always seemingly going back before forward and forcing the ball away into the offside field. Is Moreland brings Adrian Barron onto strike. Barron, a left-handed aggressive batsman, he's trying to guide one down to 3rd man, doesn't make contact into the gloves of wicketkeeper Benter. So we have a fairly decent crowd on hand for the circumstance. No, by no means a full house, but quite a few spectators have come out to take in the T20 matches. Here is Barron backing away and hitting this one, got good baton to it, but it goes out, and then he could be in trouble. Coming back for the 2nd run, Moreland was struggling. The throw came in off the boundary, and Moreland, as I was saying earlier, was not the fastest of movers, and he was struggling to get into his crease. The stumps were broken, he was short, umpire sends him on his way. Piggotts Squashers losing their 2nd wicket. They are now 33 for 2. Bertel Baltimore smiles as he saw the batsman in Moreland struggling to get into his crease. And as you look at it again, you probably, do we have replays? You're looking at it, the players are just gathering as they are just in a huddle, just trying to motivate themselves. Remember, they put in the Piggotts Squashers team to bat, so they would want to keep them down to a manageable total, and the Piggotts Squashers team have not necessarily gotten away to a flyer. They are 33 for 2. And we are already in over number 7, so 33 for 2. Piggotts Squashers. Moreland coming back for what appeared to have been a pretty routine 2nd run, and the fielder that threw the ball in from the boundary didn't seem to do so with any haste, just threw the ball in, and then when you look, Moreland was struggling to get into his ground. Couldn't understand that one, but Archibald is going to continue. Here is Archibald in, and this delivery forced away into the offside field. He comes through again for a run. 34 for 2 now. K2 has come out for Piggotts Crushers team. So K2 has come out to join Baron. $34 for 2 is the total. So Anthony Martin is in his second over, just moving the players around, the fielders around. The fielders running all over, and Anthony Martin pointing in all directions, just wanting to make sure that all of his fielders are in the right positions. So he's sent the deep mid wicket around to where we call cow corner, and he has a man at deep backward square leg on the boundary. Good bowling from him so far. The batsmen are not able to get him away. K2 just trying to work this one away, but didn't pace the field. Martin quickly back in, edging. He's gonna get some runs here. He's running pretty close to the boundary, but the fielder will pull it up just inside of the boundary area, and the batsmen were able to cross for 2 more runs. 37 for 2 the total goes up to. So you should be listening to us on live stream. It's the Cool and Smooth T20 tournament here in Antigua and Barbuda. Anthony Martin just trying to bowl tightly for his team, Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles. Piggotts Crushers, incidentally, were the first winners of this tournament. Here is this one worked away in the onside. Martin doing well, chasing after his own bowling, effected the slide, limiting the batsman to just a run. 38 for 2 it has gone on to in over number 8. So the scoring rate has been a modest 4.85. As here is Baron. Baron sent in to pinch hit. It's not really gotten off. He's been there for what? He's faced 16 deliveries and he's only scored 13 runs, so not the kind of return that his team would want from him. The end of another over. 8 overs gone. 39 for 2. Baron on 14. K2 on 3. In a new over, the first delivery just brings up a single. So the runs are coming in singles. Piggotts Crushers batsmen have not really been able to break loose fully. They had a couple of boundaries early on, but the last few overs they've been really dry. So far they've had a 4 and a 6 in terms of the boundaries scored in this innings. Good bowling this by Archibald. He's in his final over there, so they're bowling him out. Archibald. So He's only had 11 runs taken from his bowling so far. Here is he having the batsman in difficulty. It was an appeal for leg before, not out given by the umpire. So the total remains on 40 for 2 in over number 9. Archibald is always causing the batsman to play. He's been, for the most part, on target. Just maybe 1 or 2 deliveries that we saw straying down the leg side, but more often than not, he's on target. Not trying to bowl express pace at this stage, just trying to keep the batsman in check. Just making sure that he doesn't give away boundaries. So he's looking to keep the batsman honest. Archibald just causes the batsman to get a single. Kato playing a defensive stroke, just running through for 1 run. 41 for 2 in over number 9. Just 1 legitimate delivery to go in the over. Well, it's true to the wicket keeper. No run scored, so it's the end of another over. The end of over number 9 at the end of it. 41 for 2. Baran is on 15 and Kato, he is on 4. He's going to get runs here from Douglas's first delivery. The ball going past the wicketkeeper and coming down to fine leg region. And the batsmen were able to scamper through for 2 runs. So it's 43 for 2 in start of over number 10. Another run here. Keeper having to do a lot of work. And he's bundled into by one of his own players. That does seem a bit freakish because the wicketkeeper had gotten there quite a long time. The player unable to keep his body under control, crashed into the wicketkeeper. They both survived though. So 44 for 2 in over number 10. You would want to think that the Piggotts Crushers would want to score somewhere in the region of 140 to 150. That seems to be par score here. Wide delivery outside the line of the off stump. He was looking to crash it away, couldn't reach it. Wide signal by umpire Goodwin. A big hit by Baran. Lofty shot over the top of long on. He got contact with that one and hit it high and hard over the top of long on and got 6 runs. That's a good looking shot there by Adrian Baran. Just swinging at that one, and it's brought up to 50 for Piggotts Crushers. 50 or 58 deliveries in 40 minutes. 50 for Piggotts Crushers. Good response that by the batsman, because after being struck mightily into the stand, coming back with a dot ball the next ball. That's really good. Here is the batsman in Barron swinging and missing at another delivery from Douglas. Again, Barron is just looking to hit the delivery much too hard. The ball coming off the inside portion of the bat, going down to a wide mid wicket. So just one to end the over. He's on to 22. 7 is Kato, and the total has gone on to 52 for 2. 52 for 2 Piggotts Crushers at the end of 10 overs. So at the halfway stage of the innings, there's some work to do for the Piggotts Crushers. They're only 52 for 2, so they're going to need to pick up the pace in the next 10 overs if they're going to post a respectable total. Bethesda so would love to put on the squeeze to keep them in check. Martin, who has changed ends, he's now coming from the northern end to start his third over. 2 overs, no maidens, 8 runs, no wicket, and starting his 8th. Martin, as usual, just making sure that his field is set. He spends a lot of time setting his field. Every time you watch him play, he's always very meticulous, trying to make sure that his fielders are exactly where he wants them. So he's looking around again, just making sure that all his fielders remain where they are. His delivery is guided past the wicketkeeper, runs down to a short third man. He'll get a single. Brings Barron on to strike. Almost a one-out chance there. Again, Bethesda team just not hitting the stumps tonight. Missing. And one is struck high and hard over mid wicket for 6 runs. That was a magnificent shot by Kato. He just stood up and hit that one high and hard over the head of the mid wicket fielders, who only just watched it sail into the crowd, into the stands, to the party stand area, and 6 runs had. So the total has moved up to 61 for 2 in over number 11. Martin, that was a good comeback delivery after being struck over mid wicket for 6 runs to come back and end with a dot ball at the end of that over. He's had 3 overs, no maiden, 16 runs, no wicket. The total has gone on to 61 for 2 at the end of over number 11. Another run taken by the Piggotts Crushers batsman. Barron gets his 25th run. 14 is Cato. 62 for 2 in over number 12. Been bowled by Tonito Willett. Another good delivery. This batsman was looking to guide it down to third man, almost guiding it into the gloves of wicketkeeper Benter. But he missed it completely, so no damage done. 62 for 2 the score remains. Runs are just coming in singles at the moment for the Piggotts Crushers team. Just can't break that stranglehold that the Bethesda Golden Eagles have put them under in recent times. Barron has a way of just clearing that front leg and swinging almost like a baseball slugger. He's going to be really trying to clobber this ball if he doesn't. Just the one that they'll have. So Willett with just one delivery to go in his first over. Nice little glancing shot, but finding the man at that short high leg position, that's Cottrell. So just a run. One more to the total. It goes up to 65 for 2. 65 for 2. Barron is on 26 and Cato is on 16. Quick single taken. Matter of fact, 2, but 1 was short, so umpire signal, so that will just be 1-1 to the Piggotts Crushers team. 66 for 2 in over number 13. Cottrell continuing to bowl, beating the bat of K2 on that occasion. K2 just again giving himself room, looking to run it down to third man. They've tried that shot a bit, the Piggotts Crushers team. They've not been effective, so the score remains on 66 for 2. Cottrell in his second over. This delivery is driven. That's a beautiful shot. 4 runs. It was pitched up and clearing the front leg, but hitting it all along the ground was K2. That was magnificent. 4 runs. That one raced through the extra cover region. That was beautiful. Beautiful shot by the right-handed batsman. gonna get 4, running it down to third man. That was a really big dive from the wicketkeeper trying to save it. The ball flew past him and went down to the third man boundary, and 4 more to Piggotts crushes down to 74 for 2. We're still in over number 13. Another over has come up. 74 for 2 at the end of 13. Barron is on 25. Cato has joined him in the 20s. He's also on 25. So Barron is on 26. Cato on 25. The Piggotts squashes their 74 for 2 at the end of 13 overs. Barron is very unorthodox in the way that he bats. He doesn't try to play through the offside a lot. He just looks to clear that front leg and swing the back of the ball, and if it makes contact it goes a far distance. If it doesn't, it sort of looks ugly. Willett in his second over, 5 runs from his bowling so far. Another run, this time a quick one. Good work by the Piggotts Crushers batsman, just looking and then taking off for that run. So just looking and sprinting. Barron again, just with a wild swing, almost like a baseball slugger. If he was playing baseball, that one would have been a strike because it went right past him from Willett. He just lifted his head and was looking to swing the ball away. Very leg-sided player is Barron. Anything that he plays goes on the leg side. So Bethesda, for that they had four fielders placed in strategic positions on the leg side. K2 on the other end, we saw him play the fluent cover drive in the last over. He's just forcing this one away. Gets just one, but gets 2 in the end. The fielder on the boundary having a fumble. That looks to be Fernandez, who had a fumble down there on the deep cover boundary, and the batsmen were able to rush back for the second one. 79 for 2 in over number 14. Just one delivery to go to end the 14th over. Good delivery, what, right up to the batsman. He missed it completely. The ball missed the stumps and into the gloves of Benta, and the end of the over has come up at the end of it. 79 for 2. Piggotts Crushers asked to bat. 79 for 2. Barron is on 28 and K2 on 27. So Cottrell is going to start his third over. He's had 2 overs for 16 runs. Has not been the sensation that the tournament host were hoping that he would bring. When he came in, he was brought in to join the Bethesda Golden Eagles. And a swing and a miss and bowled. So Barron finally goes. He was just taking his eye off one from Cottrell and looking to swing the bat at it. The ball crashed into the stumps. The bails lit up. That's the end of Adrian Barron for 28. Bowled by Cottrell. He's now 79 for 3. So the new batsman is Philip for Piggotts Crushers. Comes in to join Cato, who's on 27, 79 for 3. The Crushers. The start of over number 15. It's been bowled by Cottrell. Cottrell getting wicket with the last delivery. Philip gets one. A good delivery to start. Played at it outside the line of the off stump, didn't make contact. 79 for 3 in over number 15. And the fans who have come out in their numbers tonight, they're having a good old time over there on the berms. Lots of festive atmosphere, picnic like. This delivery is good delivery again, can't make contact in Philip. Ball going through to the wicketkeeper. So another dot goes into the book of the scorers. Over number 15, 79 for 3. If this was a one-day international, you would say that that is a good going rate. But it being a T20 and at the end of this over, just 5 overs to go, Piggotts Crushers would want to get a move on again. Gresham Philip plays and misses at the 3 deliveries. The same way outside the line of the off stump. He played the same shot all 3 times, didn't make any contact, and then when you see his rehearsal, he rehearsed the shot that he should be played every time. Cottrell is in, and again looking to force it away, and the offside is the batsman Philip, not making contact. Through to wicketkeeper, no run. Same delivery, same shot, same result 4 times in a row, which means that Philip is not necessarily learning anything. But he taps his bat away, waits now for Cottrell. And that one was borderline on a wide. He gets away with it as it flew into the gloves of Benter. The end of a good over from Cottrell, a maiden wicket over, and the score remains on 79 for 3. So Willett will start his 3rd over. So the scoreboard flashes over to 80 for 3, just another run. So far in this innings, we've had 3 4s and 3 6s struck. They will come back for 2. They could be in trouble here. The batsman diving into his crease. The Bethesda team were up thinking that they have their man, umpire Bernard Joseph, not interested. So they're back to the They're going back to their fielding position, but the batsman was really motoring down in Philip and diving into his crease and making his ground ahead of this throw from the Bethesda fielder, and so he remains there in Philip, and the total has gone on to 82 for 3. So again, Philip is playing and missing at a delivery outside the line of the off stump. He's played a shot at every delivery since he's come in. He's not made contact once, so he's faced 7 deliveries, so you can imagine seeing the same shot 7 times and no contact. Easy getting a wide delivery down the leg side. The batsman was just trying to angle that one, probably into the stumps. So 83 for 3, the total goes on. Philip hits this one in the air, the fielder running back, and he doesn't hold on to the catch. It was been a difficult catch. He was trying to watch it and run at the same time. The ball was coming all the time over the top of his head. He reached both hands out for it, but couldn't pull it in. And the batsmen were able to come through for 2 runs. 84 for 3 in over number 16. Philip gets a single again, forcing it into the offside. Just one delivery to come in this the 16th over of the match. So just a run to end the over as the Piggotts Crushers team continue to struggle somewhat in the batting. They would want to make a bigger total, 87 for 3 at the end of 16, so they have 24 deliveries legitimately to come, and they would of course want to add, let me see, I see another 50 runs or so to take them up to about 140 thereabouts. That might be a competitive total. Tong has switched around. He's now going to come from the northern end. His second spell had 2 overs for 14 runs in his first spell. Here's this batsman depositing this one out to mid-wicket and through the hands of the fielder and over the boundary. That's 6 runs. Really should have done better. It looked to have been going down the throat of the fielder. He was backing up and then he made a hash of it. And the ball going over the boundary rope as well. Full. So it should be 6 runs to the Crushers' side. Tong wouldn't like that treatment that he would have just gotten. Swing and a miss by the batsman in K2 once more. Ball bounces through to wicketkeeper Benter, and there is no run. So that catch should have really been taken by the fielder down on the mid-wicket boundary. He is right there, and the ball went into his grasp with both hands. This one struck hard by Philip, but on the bounce out to the fielder at the long on position. So just a run. Actually, it was Kato who played a stroke. Both batsmen look similar. No doubt this is Philip who is on strike. and it's dispatched at 1 for 6 runs again. So Tong really being roughed up here in this over by the Piggotts Crushers, and they've brought up the 100. They're 100 off 101 deliveries in 66 minutes. So Tong being roughed up in this over. Here is the batsman playing across batted stroke. They sprint through for the first run, just one they'll have. So total has gone on to 101 for 3. He's swinging this one again into the mid-wicket region and over the head of the fielder for 6 runs is Kato. He rushes on to 42 and a total on to 107 for 3 at the end of over number 17. So Tong, 3 overs, no maiden, 34 runs, no wicket. He would not be pleased with those figures at all, and the batsman taking a liking to him, hitting him high over the mid-wicket region and picking up 6 runs. 107 for 3 at the end of 17. Kato on 42, Philip on 12. Willett continues. The batsman is looking to dab this one down to vacant third man. The third man is up in the circle. There's a man at point. So Piggotts Crushers wanting to set a huge total. This is Kato hitting this one out into the mid-wicket region, just a single. They'll have the ball comes back on the bounce into the gluteus maximus of the batsman Philip. He's going to survive. So we watch as Willett swinging it out, and the catch is taken. So it was a good catch taken in the end. The ball was dying on Anthony Martin and he got both hands to it, came up with a smart catch. That's the end of Gershom Phillip for 13. Caught Martin off Willett, and it's now 109 for 4. 109 for 4. The good smart catch that taken by Anthony Martin. So Philip has come out to join Kato, who is in his 40s. 110 for 4, the scoreboard showing. 110 for 4, Kato is on to 44. Just one delivery to come in the 18th over. So Piggotts probably thinking 130 140 maybe, if they can really get some lofty hits. Philip trying to swing this one away, just a single. Devon Thomas holding on to the ball at that extra cover position and allows the single. The end of over number 18, 111 for 4. Kato is on 44 and Philip is on 1. Cottrell is going to start his final over. 3 overs, 1 maiden, 16 runs, 1 wicket he's had so far. This is edging. He gets 4 down to third man. That was a deliberate stroke. It was outside the line of the off stump from Cottrell, and just using the pace and the height, he guided it, Philip, past the wicket keeper to his left and down to a short third man position and picking up 4 runs. 115 for 4 in the 19th over. There's a loud appeal as Philip is going through, and he's run out because Cottrell picked the ball up and had a throw at the stumps, and Philip was short of his ground. The stumps direct hit. He's limping away going back to the pavilion, but it was a direct hit from Cottrell, and Philip is run out for 5. So it's 115 now for 5. Philip run out Cottrell for 5. Direct hit after Cottrell did some smart work, just charging down the ball that was on the pitch and hammering it into the stumps at the non-strikers end. And that's the end of Trish Phillip, and he goes back to the pavilion having made 5, 115 for 5, the Piggotts squashers. Cottrell bowling to the right-handed batsman in Francis Jr. Or is that Kato who is on strike? It says Francis Jr. Eloy Francis Jr. What a brilliant catch that was from the wicket-keeper. A thick edge flying away to his right. He got there, both hands, reached for it, took it magnificently behind the stumps. That is beautiful from Benter. That's the end of the new batsman for Doc. He walks back from a bit of brilliance coming from the wicket-keeper at the behind the stumps in Benter, and that one was beautiful. So Kato is the batsman who's gone. Caught Benter off Cottrell for 44, 115 it is for 6. So here's Cottrell really giving chase for that one, and good running in the end by the Piggotts Crushers batsmen, because they were really quick between the wickets in Damari Benta and Eloy Francis Jr., two young men, and they really ran too quickly. The ball didn't go that far, it was just about in the 30-yard circle, but it was vacant. They were really rushing and hustling back for that second run, and they were able to pick up two in the end. Score, take this score on to 117 for 6. 117 for 6. Benta is on strike to face up to Cottrell, and he's working this one on the onside. Should get an easy single and gets it easily in the end. A leg by signaled by the umpire, so just one more to the extra. Extras go on to 12, and the total at the end of that over has gone on to 118 for 6 at the end of over number 19. So 6 deliveries to go to end the Piggotts Crushers innings, and they would want to get their total somewhere up in the region of 130, maybe a bit more, if they could get some lofty hits from these two young cricketers, Eloy Francis Jr. and of course Damari Benta, both teenage cricketers here in Antigua and Barbuda. This delivery, he's not getting a hold of it, but he gets a single as it comes into the backward square region where the umpire is standing, Bernard Joseph. The batsman just cross for one. 119 for 6 in over number 20. 5 deliveries to go in the Piggotts Crushers innings. What target will they set for the Bethesda Golden Eagles? He's trying something fancy, gets it down to fine leg position. He was trying to play a Dilshan scoop, not coming off very well. Got some of bat onto it, just manages to keep it away from Cottrell. They scamper through for a single. So continuing in this final over is Tong. So just 3 deliveries to go in the innings. 36 runs have already come from his bowling, so Tong would just want to keep his figures in check because he's been very expensive so far. This delivery struck away out to the long on position, just a run. Edgin gets it past the wicket keeper and down to the boundary for 4. Was looking to pull it away, a thick edge found, and the ball was much too high for wicket keeper. Bent it, flew over the top of his head and down to the third man boundary for 4. 121 for 6 with just 1 delivery to come in the innings for the Piggotts Crushers. So it looks as if the Bethesda team will have to just chase about 125. 125 he says for 6, maybe about 130 or so is the target. Swinging again, and this time the ball comes through to the wicket keeper, who takes it easily, and the end of the innings has come up at the end of it. 125 for 6. 125 for 6 after 20 overs. It means that the Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda team, they will need 127 to 126 for victory. So it's 125 for 7 because Eloy Francis Jr. was caught with it off tongue the final delivery, and so the end of the innings had come up at 125 for 7. So 126 for victory for Bethesda to be back on track. Bethesda, remembered in the last outing, they made a big total 177 against All Saints Pythons, but the All Saints team was able to overhaul it. Now they need a modest 126 for victory, but let's see what they're able to do when we return. We'll take a short break and then we'll be back for the reply of the Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles, who need 126 for victory. Join us back in a short while. Check 1 2, yeah. See if you can hear. So we have the resumption, and Bethesda, they need 126 for victory. The Piggotts Crushers, they made 125 for 7 in their innings, behind 44 by Cato, 28 by Baron, 13 from Philip. Maryland got 10, 3 was Theophile. Philip got 5, Francis Jr. 1, and Benter left not out on 4. Jack Matthew is alongside me. He's come to join me as we see 4 dice is the person who is bowling for Piggotts Crushers. This delivery, just having the batsman just working it away from Menendez and Benter, the 2 batsmen for Bethesda. Pleasant stroke this out to the long on region. They get a single, so Benter gets his first run as well. Score is on to 2 without loss in the first over of play. 4 dice is the bowler. And Fernandez is a pretty decent opening batsman, but he struggled this year and has had a tough year in terms of his batting. He's not necessarily been among the runs. Here is this delivery and a appeal for a catch. Umpire Goodwin not interested. As the batsman was coming across, the wicketkeeper doing a good job of striving for that one. Took a smart catch. The ball went into his gloves, but the umpire was not interested.
The feeling there was that it hit the inside edge and went onto the pad, and so that occasioned the appeal, a very vehement appeal by the fielding side, but turned down by umpire Goodwin.
Yes, wasn't interested. He was always just moving away from the stumps. The Piggotts Crushers team, they were really bellowing the appeal. 4 dice is in, driven by Fernandez. Again, just pushing away from his body. Fernandez, the end of the first over, so just 2 runs coming from it for CUB Bethesda Golden Eagles. They are 2 without loss in chase of 126 for victory.
They would not be overly concerned about the fact that only 2 runs came from that over, because the target is not a big one, and they have a very powerful batting lineup, and it's a match in which they can qualify for the semi-finals of the competition, because Piggotts would have suffered their second defeat of the championship if they were to lose this one. And although they have the points awarded for the match against Rising Sun would have lost 2 as well, and therefore with 2 victories for Bethesda, All Saints have already won 2. They would have been the 2 qualifiers from this zone.
All Saints actually won 3, because All Saints won their first match against Piggotts, and then they defeated Bethesda Golden Eagles, and then they were able to hold off Rising Sun today. So All Saints winning all 3 matches. This is whipped away over the mid-wicket region by Benter. It's going to run close to the boundary. Does it have the legs? No, it stops just inside. Good work by the fielders. The batsmen were able to race back for 3 runs. So Atley is the bowler. Treverson Atley, formerly of Empire Nation, as they are now known. Empire Nation, the cricket club. And he's now doing the duties for Piggotts Crushers. Treverson Atley, a right-arm medium fast bowler.
Fresh from a 4-wicket haul in one of the matches. So he would be in some degree of form, but he has a small total to defend tonight.
Small total to defend, so he's going to have to get it right, and the Piggotts bowling will have to be immaculate if they're going to stop this Bethesda batting from chasing down that total. Good shot this. It was a poor delivery on the legs, and he clipped it down to a fine leg region for 4. Just coming on the inside, Fernandez, and just flicking it away and picking up 4 runs. That was a good looking shot.
And not the line that you would want from Atley with the fine leg inside the 30-yard circle. There was very little room for error. And one pitched up outside the legs of the batsman. It was a case of just getting enough bat onto it, and it sped away to the left of the short fine leg fielder.
This time he's trying to smash it away, got bat onto it, and is running down to the fine leg position, and the same result. It goes into the boundary for 4. This time not in control as he was in the shot before, but the result is the same.
Yes, it was of a shorter length. It wasn't up to the left hand as was the previous delivery, but again it was leg side-ish, and therefore Hernandez fancied his chances. Did not get hold of it, but again it was to the left of the short fine leg, and his chase was a valiant one, but all in vain, and so consecutive boundaries for the left-handed Fernandez.
Here is he, facing up. This time he's trying to force it away, not making good contact, so no run. 13 without loss in over number 2. 4 is Benta, who is the non-striker. Fernandez, who really needs to get a big score in this competition.
And he changed the line there because he's bowling to a 6-3 field.
He's in, and it's bowled wide outside the line of the off stump. So in changing the field, he's forcing himself to go on the offside, but now he's pitched it much too wide.
Yes, losing control on that occasion. Atley trying to focus so much on getting the ball outside the line of the off stump. He overdid it and was called.
So he's turning in front of us, Atley. And this delivery struck away beautifully through extra cover for 4 by Fernandez. Pitched up on the line of the off stump, trying to bowl to his field, but that was immaculate. Fernandez just stepping forward and pushing it through the gap between cover and extra cover, and the ball raced into the outfield, and he got 4 runs.
And very little room for error with only 2 players permitted outside the 30-yard circle for the first 6 overs. It meant that there was no one sweeping, and once when it was in that arc, it was dealt with in the approved fashion. Glorious extra cover drive.
Real glorious series. He's facing up, and he's pulling this one, gets it down to a backward square position. The fielder on the fine leg boundary comes around, but the batsman able to rush back for a second run. So 2 more to Fernandez, 2 more to the Bethesda Golden Eagles. Total at the end of over number 2, the total has moved on to 20 without loss. Fernandez is on to 15, and Benta is on 4.
Atley is quite happy that an over has come to an end because he was all over the place. His line was certainly not of the approved fashion. His length was also not good, and therefore he was hit about, conceded 3 boundaries in that over, so it was an expensive one to begin with, and something that Piggotts Crushers could ill afford, having made just 125 for 7 of the quarter of 20 overs. So he has some redemption to do once he gets back into the attack, if he's permitted to by the captain.
Certainly. This is 4 dice. Just a nice little workman-like stroke by the batsman in Benta, just working it into the onside, gets a single. They can almost walk it home if they were to get singles from here on in, because they just need 105 more runs to go, and they still have just about the same number of balls to come. Defensive stroke by Fernandez. So 4 dice trying to fight back here against Fernandez, who had a good over off the bowling of Atley. 4 dice. This delivery struck away out to deep mid wicket. So one of the 2 men sweeping is on the outside of the circle for 4 dice, is on the mid wicket boundary. So he now comes up into the circle because it's a left and right hand combination of Benta and Fernandez. And so literally the same field on both sides. Here is Benta cutting pass backward point for 4. Gave himself room and played the cut shot in a beautiful fashion. There was a fielder tumbling to his left, didn't get anywhere near it, and the ball raced over the outfield and into the boundary. He picked up 4 runs.
The timing and placement excellent there for Benta. Really hit it hard, had the room there, and he gave himself a bit of room as well to make sure that he was in full control. He got on top of that one and he executed that one brilliantly, cutting it down to the backward point position for 4.
So Benta joining the parties onto 9, getting his first boundary. As 4 dice is in, and he's again just looking to work this one on the inside, wide signal by the umpire. So far he's had 2 4s, Fernandez. Benta just getting his first boundary. Here is he again cutting this time, finds the fielder at that square cover position, so he can't score. Was looking to repeat the stroke, looking to force it through the offside, but this time hitting it straight to the fielder. And this time he's cutting again and gets it past the fielder, this time into the cover boundary for 4. Was looking to cut that one and really made good contact, good timing, and the ball went past the fielder who is standing at the square cover, and it raced into the cover boundary for 4 to end the over at the end of over number 3, 31 without loss.
Darren Benta has a very good eye, having watched him for a few seasons now, playing at various levels. He plays softball, cricket as well, and he seems to pick up the line of the ball very, very early and length. And he played that early because he hit the ball, virtually cut it through the cover position for 4 runs. So he hit it well in front of a point, and it sped away. It ran very, very quickly down to the boundary. So he had the execution of power, and he played that one very, very early indeed. So an indication that he's in full control, and if the ballers are offline, they're going to be punished. Both batsmen have indicated that already. So it's going to be a very difficult situation here for Piggotts Crushers to contain these 2, and we may have a very, very early finish tonight.
But Yannick Leonard would have other ideas. He's in for Piggotts Crushers, and here could be a run-out chance. Benta was sprinting down the track, sent back by Fernandez, and got back in to his crease in the end. So there is no damage done. Yannick Leonard looks as if he's got himself a haircut. Remember him having dreadlocks?
I'm not sure if it was dreadlocks, but he certainly had quite a bit of hair, and I think it was dangling behind him, certainly running down his back.
Yes, but he's now sporting a shorter haircut, but still the burly figure of Yannick Leonard.
A feature of his bowling is that he's very economical. He can put that ball on a spot, and I think he has done that already.
Yes, and he doesn't normally give away too much. Here is this delivery. The batsman is forcing and gets a single as he gets it out to the fielder at that mid-off position. So again, he was just forcing it away, the batsman.
And he doesn't give a lot of flight, so it's difficult to get underneath his deliveries. And so we may have a respite here for Piggotts Crushers if he can really bowl in the normal fashion.
32 without loss. Good bowling this by Yannick Leonard. Again, bang on target. The batsman only able to defend. So a number of spectators in. We could probably say maybe a couple of hundred. Here is he hitting it straight into the hands of the mid-wicket fielder. Is the batsman in Benta, out caught off the bowling of Yannick Leonard, and that's what pressure does to you. He bowled well for the over, was bang on target, and Benta getting one that looked loose, hit it straight down the throat of the mid-wicket fielder, and the first wicket has fallen for Bethesda. 32 without loss. Benta caught Francis Jr. off Leonard, and he had made 13.
It was a moment of indiscretion because although it was pressure, in the context of the over. It wasn't overall pressure because they're scoring at a terrific rate, chasing a small target. So even though they had what 2 runs from the over, nearing the end of it, it was a case of, well, I would play out the last few deliveries. That should have been the ploy of Darren Benter. But he tried to force it. As I was saying, he's generally flat, Yannick Leonard, and therefore there was not that room to get under the ball. There wasn't the time to get underneath that. And so he had to hit it flat. It hit it straight to the fielder. Had it been on either side of him, maybe would have been able to get away with it. Maybe 2 or 3 yards either side of the fielder. But he went straight to him, and he gleefully accepted.
Yep, good catch in the end as well. Very confidently taken by Francis Jr. Fernandez gets the first delivery of a new over. As we start over number 5, 32 for 1, Devon Thomas, who has been in immaculate form recently. Scored a number of centuries in competitions here in Antigua and Barbuda. Had a triple century in a 2-day match a few weeks ago. Well, Jack, so he's really been racking up the runs. He's come out to join Fernandez. Fernandez is playing a forcing shot, and it's a throw at the stumps at the non-striker's end. Fernandez getting in easily though in the end. So we're in over number 5, 33 for 1. The score is going to flash over in just a minute. It does. 4.3 overs it says. So we're in over number 5.
And that consistency for Devon Booby Thomas could have been on the cards for a very long time.
This is 4 dice, or correction, Theophile in, and Devon Thomas playing a flat batted stroke, gets it into the mid-wicket region for a run. He gets his first run.
A lot of times in the past, Devon Thomas had given his wicket away on many occasions.
He's promised much, and he's probably delivering late, especially in local competition. I think he's had probably four centuries in his last 6 innings, which is remarkable in terms of the batting that he's produced.
Yes, because technically he's particularly sound against pace and spin, off the front foot, of the back foot.
Theophile off of that short run up base. There's an attempted reverse sweep played by Jamal Fernandez, and the ball is coming down to a short, well, what should have been a short third man, and he
turned the fine leg into a third man.
So 34 for 1 at the end of over number 5. Fernandez is on 10 and Devon Thomas is on 1.
Yes, it should be easy going for Bethesda Golden Eagles. Devon Thomas has come in, and as we've been saying, he has been in terrific form, and his strategy here should be just to play normal cricket, because there is no need to really go helter-skelter down the road, and he should be watchful, especially against Yannick Leonard, who is about to bowl. So this is Devon Thomas just coming easily and playing a shot towards the point position. Yep. We've seen a very good start here by Bethesda Golden Eagles. I've had a hiccup in the tournament. Here is a ball which just keeps a little bit low, suggesting there, Devon Thomas, that one kept so low that it had an opportunity really to breach his defenses, but he came down hurriedly on that one from Yannick Leonard, who continues to bowl well. And, Devon Thomas just easing off strike here, getting it down to the long on position.
As you said, Jack, there's no need for anything fancy from Devon Thomas or even from the Bethesda team. It's a modest total, 125, and if they approach it in the normal manner, if they play normal cricket, they should be able to overhaul this total pretty easily.
Yannick Leonard deciding to switch positions for the 2 batsmen, operating over the wicket to the left-hander and around the wicket to the right-hander. Jamal Fernandez just stroking it up onto the offside. Yannick Leonard very exuberant in getting around to his own bowling, making the stop, and quickly taking single here as Jamal Fernandez gets it up to the mid-off position, driving that one crisply, but the fielder inside the circle was onto it. And so the score has pushed on now. And we're into very much the 6th over of the innings, 36 for 1. And Devon Thomas just easing that one into the onside to complete another Yannick Leonard over. And he has continued to bowl well, very much on target, not giving the batsman much room to execute. And he generally bowls a stump on the stumps, and therefore at a very good pace as well. So it can be a difficult customer, Yannick Leonard, as he has shown throughout this tournament so far.
What the Bethesda batsmen have to recognize is that Yannick Leonard only has 12 deliveries left in his spell, so they don't need to take risk of him. They can allow him to have a tight spell and then look to target someone else later on in this Piggotts Crushers bowling.
Yes, Tyrone Theophile, better known for his batting, has opened the batting for the Windward Islands. Did so this year in the regional Super 50 festival. It was renamed this year, and a nicely taken single.
Also does some wicket keeping. I remember him wicket keeping for Piggotts Crushers the first few years that he came to play for them. Now doing a dual role, playing batting and doing some bowling for the Piggotts Crushers.
Yeah, showing his versatility, batting, bowling, and wicket keeping, and bowling to a man who does that quite often as well, Devon Thomas. A ball is steered away for a quickly taken single. Jamal Fernandez had to hurry to the keeper's end. Yannick Leonard, not the most fleet-footed of fielders, but he had the return in fairly quickly. But there was Jamal Fernandez hustling into his ground.
Fernandez was leaning on his bat at the non-striker's end. That caused him to have to hustle towards the end, because it seemingly was an easy single. And as you can see now that Devon Thomas is alert on this occasion, the single looks a lot easier. It was almost an identical situation to what happened the delivery before.
And Devon Thomas is very, very fast between the wickets, and so he will be pushing Fernandez. Tyrone Theophile, feeling that he had that one in line with the stumps. Devon Thomas almost swiveling, almost going around in a circle at the crease there, trying to hit that ball down to the backward square position, an inviting position down to backward square, with the fielders in that general vicinity on the leg side within the 30-yard circle. He was looking to get a boundary, but not being able to make contact.
Again, I'm saying that Thomas can play straight and play normal in this game, because it's not a big total. So it's not a total that you need to take too many risks for. What he needs to do is just play normal cricket, and he will score, because he can score.
Yes, a little bit of a misfeeling by Yannick Leonard, and they really probably had a chance there to run out Devon Thomas, who was going to the bowler's end. Tyrone Theophile was there looking to get the return, but the ball bubbled from the hand of Yannick Leonard, and Devon Thomas was able to get home after a little bit of hesitation. So we have had now 7 overs completed, and the score is 40-1. The target is 126 for Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles to claim a spot in the semi-finals of the Cool and Smooth T20 Explosion. They're going at a rate of 6.62.
They're actually going at 5.7.
5.71, and they're asking rate is 6.62.
So I'm saying it's a walk in the park rate. It's a run a ball rate, and in this type of cricket, in T20 cricket, you would call that normal. You know, that's a walk in the park.
Yes, anything below 8 is generally an asking rate, which is very much in keeping with a winning chase.
We've seen, though, Thomas played all sort of fancy shots since he's been in. He's been trying to pull cross batter stroke. Now we saw him with that little dab that he does off of the stump. That shot that has gotten him into trouble so many times in his career that we've seen. And he needs to understand what is necessary for this run chase. This run chase does not require all the fancy, all the shots that you have to make up. This one requires normal cricket.
Yes, Jamal Fernandez not quite getting hold of it. I thought he was rather flat-footed in trying to hit that over the top from the left arm spinner, and got too much underneath the ball and skied it. Fortunately for him, there was the fielder outside the 30-yard circle at mid-on. He was at long-on, so there was no chance for a catch.
This is what Thomas needs to do, just like what he did here. Just get in line, push the ball into the space, pick up the ones and twos, and when you start to accumulate runs like that, the bad balls will start to come, and then you find that it's much easier for you to really either set or to chase down totals.
Yes, Yannick Leonard again doing containing work. Only singles coming off his bowling. Now he's in the course of his third, has conceded only 7 runs and has taken a wicket. So he is proving to be very, very economical. But as we've been saying, it really doesn't matter in the context of the chase, because it's a small total they're going after. And Devon Thomas shows annoyance with himself.
He's dropped. He was dropped, or maybe he hit it into the ground.
He hit it into the ground,
straight
yes,
to the fielder there, and he probably thought he might have, hit it to its left.
Yes, I got the impression he was trying to hit it through the point region, away from the sweep at cover, and just didn't quite get hold of it. So an over has come to an end, which is the 8th of the innings, and the score is 44 for 1. It was a flying start initially by Golden Eagles, but then with the introduction of Yannick Leonard, it has dropped his appearance has led to a dropping of the run rate. That it is going down by the overs. It's now 5.5 not. The asking rate is 6.83 as Theophile continues and looking for the single yet again. And it's nice to see that singles are being looked for by the batting side, because this is a feature not only at the national level, not only at the Leeward Islands tournament level, but also the West Indies level, even in the T20 game. Too many dot balls. So it's nice to see
definitely too many dot balls. But like I said, it's nice to see that players are trying to improve in that area. One of the problems that we've had, especially, is that our players in these rely mostly on their power.
As Jamal Fernandez was attempting there, launching himself at that ball, he got the edge and down to the third man position, very fine, and he got 3 runs for that. But again, quite flat-footed in driving at the spinner, not getting close enough to the ball, and as a result, it spun off the edge of the bat and down to the third man position for 3. So a hint of desperation there for the second time by Jamal Fernandez. The much more competent looking Devon Thomas against the spin. This goes inside his stumps and deflects the ball away for single. Score edging towards the 50 mark. They are now on to 48 for 1. And the 2 balls left in the 9th over. The target 126.
Well, like I said, it's not a lot of runs to get. They need another one, 78 runs to get, and they have a lot of deliveries to do it in. But one of the things that we've had a problem with, like we saw in the game before, Rising Sun needed 14 runs to win from 10 deliveries, and they proceeded to lose 5 wickets in a short space of time, all of them trying to hit that one big shot instead of somebody coming out and playing sensible cricket, working the ball into a gap for 1, for 2. And because with 10 deliveries, 14 runs, you only need 1 boundary. So everybody didn't need to be the one that's trying to hit that big 6. They needed to understand, because look, if you get 6 singles out of 14, right? That's 6 deliveries.
And they add 2.
Yeah, and they add 2. You get there with little or no risk. but there is a mentality in T20 cricket that everybody thinks that you need to go for the spectacular. You need to hit this ball somewhere out of the ground so that the folks can cheer and that kind of thing, rather than playing the smart cricket, normal cricket, and when the bad deliveries come along, you then dispatch them. But too many of us manufacture shots and so on. I was very disappointed when you saw Rising Sun losing 5 wickets towards the end of the match and scoring just I think it was just 5 of the 14 runs that they needed, which was very poor.
I'll just going back to that after this delivery. A new bowler is into the attack, and Devon Thomas will add to his score. In the Indian Premier League today, the equation was rather similar for the Kolkata Knight Riders, chasing a target of 172 against the Sunrisers Hyderabad. And Dinesh Karthik, the Kolkata Knight Riders captain, went about it in a very proficient way, and he was just intent on pushing the ball around for the singles, and his partner did just about the same thing. And in the end, they won with 2 deliveries to spare. So I don't know if the All Saints, the Rising Sun players were watching this. Had they been watching that, I think their approach would have been different, because as you're saying, no need to go try and bash the ball over the top. It was just a case of getting singles and a 2 runs here, there, and that would
because
be
at the end of the day, Jack, if you win off the last delivery of the match or 2 deliveries to go, you still win. Yes. And so what people need to understand, everybody wants to do it in the spectacular. Everybody wants to be that hero person that hit the 6 to win. There's no need to hit the 6 to win if you don't have to. If you can just achieve victory by pushing the ball into the gap and running for 1, it is still a victory. So and again, we have to, our players need to look at that as well.
So the 50 has come up in 32 minutes of 57 deliveries for Caribbean Union Bank, Bethesda Golden Eagles. 50 for 1, coming off 57 deliveries. Roland Cato is the man who is operating. He has played for the Windwards, and he has lost his line because he was well outside the line of the off stump the previous delivery, and now he has gone down the leg side, so he has bowled consecutive wides here, and really making it easier for Golden Eagles in this relatively easy run chase. Very good feeling there by the man at that short extra cover position. Ball hit firmly, but the fielder was there to make the save. Score remains on 51 for 1, and we're in over number 10, target 126. Jamal Fernandez, and a chance for a catch, but it falls short of the fielder coming off the boundary at long off. It was one of those situations where the fielder was wondering whether to go full throttle or just to wait on the bounce. He decided to go for it, but it was always going to be difficult to get close enough to make a catch of it, and it just fell short. He managed to save the boundary though.
Those kind of catches are always difficult because it's a decision you have to make, and you can get hurt too in that, because you go and it falls short. Sometimes it bounces awkwardly, hits players in their face, and so on. Sometimes they have to make a decision. On that occasion, he was between 2 minds. The fielder eventually 4 dice went for it, but then he was just not able to get there. Knocked it up, but saved his team 2 runs.
53 for 1. We've had 10 overs completed, and the target is 125. So the asking rate has climbed. It's climbing all the time. This is something maybe that Bethesda could be looking at. The asking rate is now 7.3 knot.
The problem is, or the thing is, that they're not getting enough singles. They're blocking the deliveries, but they're not scoring. So the rate goes up every time you play the ball, and you're not scoring.
So Devon Thomas drives into the offside, a single here down to the sweeper. So it's important that he stays around. He's the informed batsman in this Bethesda side, and he's easily their best batsman, and he will need to stay there until the very end. Ball smashed in the air, but it's going to be caught, and he's dropped, in fact, by the fielder at long off. Well, he came in for that delivery, for that catch. A ball hit high in the air down towards the long off position, and he got too far in, and the ball went over his head. He tried to pedal back at the last minute, not being able to catch it. Really poor judgment shown there by the fielder coming off the long off boundary. So a chance to Jamal Fernandez, and there's that sense of desperation again in his batting. Looking hit over the top. Devon Thomas hit mighty over the top. That's 6 runs. Well, his partner showing him how to do it. Really, he got a ball up to him from Tyrone Theophile, and he smashed it over the straight mid-wicket position for 6.
What is happening is that Fernandez is trying to force things. He's not waiting for the bad ball, so he's trying to make aggressive stroke. He's trying to manufacture shots, whereas we saw Devon Thomas just waiting for the bad delivery and using his class and timing to full effect.
Yes, and he was looking for second there, but he slipped at the non-striker's end, and so only a single he got from that delivery. But that 6 would have considerably improved the run rate for the Eagles. It's gone out 62 for 1 in over number 11. And the significant thing as well, they have wickets in hand. So if the scoring rate was to continue to climb, they will have wickets in hand to certainly have a go. And because it's 126 to win, I don't think there is any need to be panicky at the moment as far as Bethesda Golden Eagles are concerned, especially when you see this wonderfully executed off drive by Devon Thomas, hitting that one into the wide long off position, hitting it beautifully. Sweet timing. So he got a 6 and a 4 from that over, and so he's certainly upping the ante now as far as the run chase is concerned. The score 67 for 1 after 11.
Yeah, and like I said, for that last shot, the fielder was not more than 5 yards away or so from it, but it was struck so beautifully that he couldn't even react. He just went across just to retrieve. And this is what I'm saying. Fernandez does not need to be manufacturing shots, because you have Thomas at the other end who are playing those sort of immaculate shots.
Yes, and Thomas is on 20, getting to 20 with that superb off drive, and Fernandez on 30 from 40, an indication of how the batters have been going. 20 from 18 for Devon Thomas. So Cato is the man. Is in operation from the commentary box end, the northern end of the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. He played in the Super 50 festival for the Windwards, Roland Cato, now performing here for Piggotts Crushers in a match that they will have to win to keep their hopes alive of advancing to the semi-finals. It's going to be difficult for them. Devon Thomas, a little bit of hesitation but misfeeling on the part of the fielder at point, and so what looked to be a dangerous single turned out to be an easy one because the fielder not being able to hold on to the ball.
Again, the ball was much too close to Devon Thomas for him to cut. He was looking to force it away through the offside. It might have been better if he just got in line on that one and dropped it in front of him. That would have been an easier single. He got the single in the end, but could have been in some danger had the fielder picked it up cleanly.
Fernandez adding to his score, getting this one down to the sweeper at the cover position, and they're getting Devon Booby back on strike. Devon Booby Thomas, 21 he is now, and Fernandez on 32. They need 126 overall to win. The score is 70 for 1 in the 12th over. Cato is the man who is bowling, and Devon Thomas smashes this away for 4. Oh, he hit that not far away from the fielder at that short, straight mid-wicket position, but it was hit very, very hard. The timing was superb from Devon Thomas, and it sped away well wide of the man at long on and down to the straight mid-wicket boundary for 4.
Almost a premeditated shot from Devon Thomas. You could almost see him getting in that sort of position long before Cato had delivered that delivery. Cato not very pleased with something, but Thomas was always ready for that shot.
Oh, he loses his line again down the leg side. Cato, not sure what he was trying there, but it was fell outside the line of the leg stump. Called by umpire Bernard Joseph. That extra carries the score out at 75 for 1, with 1 ball left in the 12th over. Devon Thomas, good bit of feeling by the man at the extra cover position. And Devon Thomas just asking his teammate to keep going, because he almost stood at the crease at the non-striker's end.
Again leaning on his bat, Fernandez. The ball was stopped well by the fielder at that short mid-off position. However, the ball had gone past him, and the way that he had fallen, that it would have been difficult for him to recover in terms of getting the ball. Devon Thomas had the presence of mind, but Fernandez was still there, just leaning on his bat, having a merry evening. But Thomas eventually got him to run for that single. 76 for 1.
Yeah, perhaps it would have been tragic for Devon Thomas, because instinctively, when a situation like that arises, the batsman is always thinking about preservation of his wicket, and perhaps it would have been a better thing for him to run, and if there would have been a dismissal, he should have been the one run out, and now Devon Thomas, in the interest of the team, obviously.
Yep, certainly. Yannick Leonard has changed his ends as well.
They're looking for a wicket here. They're looking for the wicket of Devon Thomas, but he gets another boundary as the ball speeds away. Now as the ball speeds away down towards the mid-off position, wide mid-off area, timing the ball sweetly, Devon Thomas, giving himself a little bit of room and meeting that ball as well and smashing it down to the wide long-off position for 4 more runs. And this time he misses, and he's almost bowled. The ball going between the batsman's body and the leg stump and down to the short fine leg position. So he has managed to break loose here with a number of boundaries, Devon Thomas. He has rushed on to 31 from 23 deliveries. 81 for 1 in the 13th over.
But no need for a rush moment like what Devon Thomas just had. No need to jump down the track and lose your wicket.
Jamal Fernandez hitting this one over the top mightily. 6 runs. So he certainly got hold of that. He was trying earlier to hit Yannick Leonard, and this time he succeeded. Certainly got the room outside the line of the off stump, and he swung at that. He had the leverage and hit it over the top of straight mid-wicket. So that would do a lot for his confidence. The 50 partnership coming up, and the 50 partnership between these two of 51 deliveries.
Yeah, good partnership this for the Bethesda CUB, Bethesda Golden Eagles team, taking them ever so closely to that winning target and bringing down the asking rate with every delivery.
Yes, the asking rate now 5.16, and the run rate 6.94. So the excellent footwork and execution by Devon Thomas playing a really important role here for his side. He has come and he has really separated the men from the boys. He has looked a class above the batters we have seen so far for Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles, and he's really taking charge, which is good to see because he's such a fine player. I think the West Indies have missed out by the fact that Devon Thomas has not lived up to high expectations that he himself set at a very, very early age. He got
but he's still a young man, Jack, and if he continues to bat the way that he's batting and takes it with him into the regional tournaments that are coming up, I can't see why, you know, the West Indies can't look at him. Ridley Jacobs comes to mind of somebody that started, got a late opportunity and did well for himself. So Devon Thomas should still be thinking that he can still be in the mix in terms of the West Indies and in terms of as a genuine batsman. So he needs to think about that and think about often how he felt when he was making all those runs, when he got those 4 centuries on the trot, including the triple century, and think of those happy moments and continue to produce.
Indeed, and let's hope that he is thinking along those lines. But really, although he has the chance of making amends, as it were, he has missed out. He has missed out big time, because some of the players who have come in as replacements for Devon Thomas certainly was not of his class, was not of his, didn't have the ability, especially against pace and spin. Wonderful footwork, variety of strokes, and therefore I thought that he has really missed out on those opportunities. He should have been very much part and parcel of the West Indies side in
should be a regular
not only
fixture.
the one day, yes, not
should
only
be a
the
regular
one day,
fixture in the side.
not only in the one day format, but even at the test level.
Yeah, but he only has himself to blame in terms of not producing the sort of consistency that is required for you to be consistently in the minds of the selectors.
More runs as the ball is pulled away towards the mid-wicket position, and they're going really at a canter now. After there was a brief moment when they looked to have been just in a bit of bother, but they're now at 93 for 1 in the 14th over. Target is 126, so only 33 runs required now for Golden Eagles to seal a spot in the semi-finals. And Devon Thomas hitting this one hard off the back foot, but out to the sweeper at cover.
Yep, the Golden Eagles, they would want to have victory tonight, get a spot in the semi-finals coming up in the week coming, and look to probably look to get into the finals and give themselves an opportunity for winning this year's tournament. They have the capacity to win the tournament, of course.
Yes, ball driven hard and very, very nicely by Jamal Fernandez. Last one of over number 14, and the score has pushed on to 95 for 1. 95 for 1, 31 more runs required for victory here for Golden Eagles.
Yep, they have 36 deliveries to go, 31 runs to get. So like I said, it's a walk in the park. They're scoring a rate above what is required currently. They are a little less than a run per ball to get. So they have 36 deliveries, 31 runs to get. You would want to back the Bethesda team, because they've only lost 1 wicket so far in this run chase, which is also very good for them. It means that they have wickets in hand, so they can even try to push to get the runs quickly.
Yes, and they're running quickly here, but they're helped by the fielder because he came in there well inside the 30-yard circle, and had he picked that ball up and maybe would have had a direct hit, would have been able to get a wicket there. But the feeling hasn't really been up to par, I thought, of the Piggotts Crushers side tonight. Too many errors in the field, and therefore they haven't put the batting side under any degree of pressure.
Yep, the Piggotts Crushers, yeah, they don't look a very strong fielding unit. We saw them trying to hide even Yannick Leonard, because when he was at this short fine leg, the ball was going straight to him and the players were still running because they realized that he's not a fast mover, and so the fielding performance by Piggotts Crushers has not been necessarily good.
We see the reverse sweep attempted there. He didn't go for the full-blooded reverse sweep, just kind of a paddle towards the short fine leg area, which he turned into short third man. and he got a single for it, Jamal Fernandez. So he's on to 44 now. Devon Thomas looking to get into the 40s as well. He's on to 39 with a stroke down towards the square leg position, and he's on to 37, correction, and his score heading towards the 100 mark. Score now is on to 99 for 1, 27 runs required for victory now. And it's Tyrone Theophile is in operation, bowling to Jamal Fernandez. No run resulting. The ball goes straight to Yannick Lennon.
Yeah, it's been slow going, but the Bethesda Golden Eagles, they're literally walking home with this one. This is all that is required from here on in. Pick up the singles. You pick up a single at every ball, you're going to be winning this game with balls to spare. So again, no need for any great risk, no need for anything fancy. I still saw Jamal Fernandez trying to do the paddle sweep when there was no need. It is not necessary at this stage. You're in front, you're walking home, you're what, 20 runs ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis system, so everything is going in your favor. There is no need for you to get yourself out. What he needs to do is think of a personal milestone, probably get a 50, but not out, so that he can get back some confidence in terms of his cricket and so on. These are the kind of mental games that the players need to think about when they're chasing.
And it's not a case of having a better net run rate, because All Saints have already qualified at the top of the group with 100% record, having won all 3 matches they played in the group. And Bethesda Golden Eagles, having lost to All Saints, meant that it's not a case of net run rate, so they don't have to try and push to get a better net run rate, because it would not matter. They would go into the semi-finals as runners-up from the group, and therefore would play the winners of the other group, involving PIC Liberta Blackhawks, favourites to top their group. So we may see a Eagles-Hawks semi-final showdown. This is swept away down towards the backward square position, down towards short fine leg area. In fact, it's gone away for 4.
That would be a good matchup in the semi-finals, Bethesda versus Liberta. Always good cricket when those two teams meet. Then you would have probably Empire or Bowlands, because that's going to be a tight one, because Empire, having lost on the Duckworth-Lewis method last evening to the Blackhawks, now need to defeat Bowlands if they're going to get into that semi-final. So it's good matchup in that's still to come.
And Devon Thomas really putting the batting side on the pressure here. He's playing a variety of strokes, and he played that one very, very late. Ball from Trevinson Athley, and he just waited on it and flicked it around down towards the backward square position. There's a fielder on the square leg boundary, and he had no chance whatsoever. There's a fielder at the fine leg area as well. Very well played by Devon Thomas. He's hitting this one high over the top, 6 runs. Excellent timing. He's hit it into the stand, away to our right here on the northern side of the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. So Devon Thomas is finishing this off with a flourish. He has smashed a boundary and now a 6. 115 for 1.
He's gone on to a half century.
Yes,
he's on 51. And he's taken 14 runs from the last 3 deliveries. And he's really, really doing well for himself in this over, and has really taken a liking to Trevinson Athley's bowling.
Yes, a night Athley would like to forget, because this is his 3rd over. He's already conceded 38 runs in just 2.4. Not
the type of figures you would want as a bowler. You know, when you look at the scoreboard and you see 3 overs for 39 runs, or 2.5 overs, no made, 39 runs, no wicket, you know that you're not having a good night at all. So 116 for 1, just 10 runs required.
I'm not seeing a variation from him, and you need that as a bowler in T20 cricket. I get the impression that the balls are coming at the same pace and that's why he's been smashed about, because once the batsmen get the bounce of the pitch and all the other conditions that are required, and you're going to bowl at the same pace, you're going to be hit about, and that's an area of his bowling that you probably needs to pay attention to. Get some sort of variety going, the slow ball, something that would disconcert the batsman, have the batsman thinking. But he's, as we've been seeing, he's been bowling at just about the same pace. His line and length have been erratic, and he has suffered tonight after having a 4-wicket haul in a previous game. So what a difference a night makes. 3 overs for 41 runs.
Yes, really not good figures for Treverson Attlee, and that has been his problem over the years when I've watched him, that he's always been just one-dimensional. He's not necessarily, he's not a variety bowler. He's either fast or slow.
A chance for a catch, and he's out. Devon Thomas is caught at mid-wicket, so he goes back, not been able to finish the job. They're almost there, but Devon Thomas has been caught for 52, and the score 118 for 2 now. 118 for 2.
And this is the part of the game that he needs to improve, Devon Thomas. The thinking part. You're almost home. You've gotten to a 50. You're well ahead of the asking rate. You took what, 16 out of the last over from Treverson Attlee, which means that you've brought down your required. There is no need for that type of shot, because he should just be looking to work it into the space, give Jamal Fernandez the strike, give him an opportunity to also get to his half century and see home the team. Now, I'm not saying that the team is not going to lose, but you know, you don't want to see that kind of dismissal.
Yes, and with a fielder on the boundary, it was always a risky sort of stroke, and he was not quite to the pitch of it. Hit it high, but did not get the range.
And it has been very windy tonight as well, and he's hitting into the wind. And if you're going to hit into the wind, he had to have gotten it flat like the first one that he hit, that was flat. But once it's going to go high up into the air, it's going to hang, and that is exactly what it did. And Devon Thomas just not finishing the job for his team.
Yes, Fordyce getting the wicket there, and Thomas departing for 52. But it was really a gem of an innings, a chock full of stroke play, some entertaining strokes by Devon Booby Thomas. 123 now for 2, so they're very much on the home stretch.
Just 3 runs required for victory. Akeem Saunders has come in to join Fernandez and finishes the match beautifully with one swing of the bat. That's the end of the match. He just smashed it over the backward square position into the boundary for 4, and handshakes all around. That's the end of the match. The Bethesda Golden Eagles get into 127 for 2, winning by some 8 wickets.
Yes, a very good performance by Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles, rebounding after that defeat in an earlier match against All Saints, and confirming their spot in the semi-finals. Likely that they'll play PIC Liberta Blackhawks in the semi-final round of the Coolenswood T20 Explosion, and that could be an explosive encounter between those two sides, and we may well see either Bolands or Empire, one of those two teams, will be up against All Saints in the other semi-final. And so there's a lot of cricket to be savoured here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. We're hoping that the fans will be coming out for the semi-finals and the grand final that will take place, I think, 1 week from today.
Yep.
Next week, Saturday. Here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. It has been a wonderful performance by Caribbean Union Bank. Bethesda Golden Eagles, a dominating performance tonight, limiting the opposition to 125, and in the end just cantering home with what,
Well,
in the
it's pretty-
14th,
yeah.
in the 17th over?
Yes, in the 17th over.
17th over, so overs to spare.
Yeah, with 3.2 overs to spare.
And
so,
8 wickets in hand.
Yeah, so really a canter. And based on how the tournament has gone and how Piggotts Crushers has played, this was expected. They've not distinguished themselves at all this year, the Piggotts Crushers, in this tournament. I think that they need to get some younger players now into the fold, regroup, reshuffle, have a look at the performance in this year's tournament, because the only points that they would have gotten is on a technicality, on a protest. They've not played any good cricket in this tournament to win any game, and when you see how easily it was for Bethesda to defeat them this evening, it means that the Piggotts Crushers need to have a look at their situation and probably look to sort it out. The next set of matches, Jack, comes up on Monday, and there was some discussion in the crowd as to why not tomorrow and why they chose Monday when it's a holiday and so many other things
Horse
happening
racing
and so on. So maybe, I don't know, but the next set of matches is scheduled for Monday here.
Yes, I was rather surprised that Sunday was the off day and Monday was chosen as the day for the continuation of the competition. But that's the way the organizers see it, and let's hope that the crowd will come out on a holiday. It will be night essentially after the activities during the day. They would come out for the evening action here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. So that's the end of our broadcast tonight. Caribbean Union Bank Bethesda Golden Eagles defeating the Piggotts Crushers side by 8 wickets, winning with 2.2 overs to spare, winning in 3.2 overs to spare, winning in the 17th over of the innings. So on behalf of Dan Moore Roberts, Jack Matthews saying goodbye from the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium.